$45 million in raw gold disappeared into Monica Beets' hands before Parker Schnabel could even blink. One moment, his mining empire looked untouchable, a machine of men and machines roaring endlessly in the Yukon night. The next moment, Monica outmaneuvered him so cleanly, so quietly, and so decisively that the entire mining world stopped in shock. This wasn't just another gold haul. This was a jackpot so massive it could rewrite the very balance of power in modern mining. Picture the scene deep in the Yukon. Floodlights blaze against the midnight sky, throwing long shadows across frozen ground. Convoys of trucks rumble across permafrost roads, their engines screaming as they carry impossible loads. Parker's camp believes they are chasing victory, convinced the strike ahead of them will secure the season. Yet while Parker storms forward with brute force, Monica moves in silence. She drills where no one thinks gold exists, setting up decoys, disguising her moves, and outsmarting the scouts who track her day and night. And then, one evening, her excavator bucket rips into the frozen earth, and the ground itself explodes with treasure. Nuggets the size of fists roll out of the dirt. Veins glisten like steel bars dipped in sunlight. Gold pours so heavy it drowns the mats of her wash plant. Within hours, she has secured a fortune worth $45 million, locked and sealed as hers. This is no rumor. This is not luck. This is strategy. Monica Beets didn't just beat Parker Schnabel, she humiliated him. And in the Yukon, humiliation spreads faster than wildfire. For Monica, this isn't just about winning money. It's about proving she is more than Tony Beets' daughter. It's about carving her own empire in the frozen ground of Dawson. For Parker, it's about his reputation. He has long been seen as the unstoppable force of the Klondike, the miner who always wins. But this season, the rivalry between the two miners transforms from competition into open war. The claim line that divides their ground becomes more than just a boundary. It becomes a front line. Scouts hide in the trees, binoculars flashing in the Yukon sun as each camp watches the other. Local miners whisper of secrets, rumors that Monica holds something Parker doesn't, a map, maybe, or geological proof of hidden treasure. Dawson City begins buzzing with talk, and by the end of the week, nobody is speaking about the separate miners. They are talking about a war. Out of this dust rises a legend. A brittle old journal emerges from a prospector's trunk. Its pages fragile, but its words unmistakable. It speaks of a golden spine, a vein thicker than any river, buried deep under the Klondike. Most dismiss it as a campfire tale, but whispers grow louder. When modern geological surveys detect anomalies, underground strange linear signatures no one has touched in decades, Parker laughs it off as old-timer nonsense. But Monica does not laugh. She funds her own quiet surveys, slipping rock samples into labs under false names. When the results return, the numbers are staggering. Gold purity soaring into the nines, the kind of treasure that makes most Klondike ground look worthless. Monica realizes that if the journal is right, then this spine vein could be worth tens of millions, and it might be running right beneath her ground. Parker doesn't see it. He trusts only in brute force. Mobilizing his army of red machines, he launches a campaign of pure strength. Bulldozers rip into hillsides. Excavators chew through gravel banks. Floodlights blaze until dawn. Crews push past exhaustion, diesel tanks empty by the hour, and still Parker demands more. To the outside world, it looks unstoppable, a machine grinding its way to fortune. But Parker's arrogance blinds him. He mistakes Monica's silence for weakness. He doesn't realize her planning is precise, her strategy surgical. While he burns millions chasing worthless pay dirt, she circles the true prize. The Yukon trembles under this rivalry. Parker plays checkers, throwing weight and steel at everything. Monica plays chess, every move calculated in whispers and shadows. Scouts spying on her see only what she wants them to see. She plants false stakes, drills decoy sites, and sends her rivals chasing dust. Her real test pits are dug miles away, in places most miners dismiss without a second glance. There, her crew works in total silence, no radios, no floodlights, nothing that would betray their position. They find subtle signs, black sand heavier than normal, faint glimmers of fine flakes, stratigraphy bending exactly where the spine veins should be. It isn't proof yet, but it is enough to keep her moving forward patiently while Parker celebrates the wrong victories. When Parker's crew finally hits visible gold, his camp erupts in cheers. Wash plant mats sparkle with flakes. Cameras zoom in on nuggets. He holds them high, grinning for the world, bragging that this is why they win. Discovery's cameras eat it up. Investors back him with more money. To the outside world, Parker is already victorious. But Monica knows better. She's already seen the assy sheets. He hasn't. The gold is shallow. The ground is thin. It looks good for television, but the math doesn't hold. For every ounce Parker collects, he spends 10 times its value in fuel, labor, and wasted time. He is chasing glitter that will never add up. From a ridge above, Monica watches him burn his empire with his own arrogance. And while he celebrates a hollow strike, she orders her crew to prepare for the riskiest move of her life, digging beneath the permafrost. A frozen layer miners avoid at all costs. Down there, walls collapse without warning. Whole pits can cave in and bury everything. But Monica has studied the ground, mapped the fault lines, and calculated the risks. She knows this is where the golden spine dives deep, hidden from Parker's machines, but not from her patience. Her crew hesitates, fearful of the dangers, but Monica's voice is steady. If we brace it right, it holds. And if it holds, we win. The descent is slow and terrifying. Supports groan as they drive timbers into frozen earth. Every crack echoes like thunder. Flashlights sweep across black walls, searching for weakness. Gravel scraped from new cuts fills pans, and trembling hands swirl them with water. At first, nothing. Then sparkles. Not dust, not flakes, but pieces heavy enough to clump together. Nuggets larger than fingernails. A heartbeat of the spine vein itself. Monica whispers, "Keep digging." This is it. Parker first notices something is wrong, not from his own pit, but from the corner of his eye. In the middle of the night, when the Yukon should be asleep, he spots headlights in the distance. Convoys of trucks crawl like predators across frozen ground, their beams slicing narrow tunnels of light through mist. They aren't random supply runs. They aren't normal shifts. Someone is hauling dirt under cover of night, and every instinct in Parker's body tells him it's not good. By morning, he is already on his quad, tearing across the frost. Discovery's camera is chasing after him, his jaw set tight, his hands gripping the handlebars like he wants to throttle the whole valley. He bursts into Monica's camp without warning, dust curling around his tires, his crew hanging back like soldiers waiting for a command. His voice cracks through the air like a whip. He throws accusations of claim jumping, deception, and theft. He points at Monica, his words sharp, chosen to sting in front of the cameras. But Monica does not rise to the bait. She doesn't shout back. She doesn't even frown. Instead, she lets the silence grow so heavy it feels like it might break the camp in two. And then she answers with ice. Her words cut slow and precise, sarcasm delivered in a tone calm enough to chill blood. She twists his accusations into knots, questions his proof, and mocks the idea that he even knows what's happening on his own ground. Every jab lands not like a punch, but like a scalpel, clean and surgical. Parker expected rage. Instead, he finds himself outmaneuvered in front of his own crew and in front of Discovery's cameras. Word spreads through Dawson like fire. By sundown, miners are repeating the exchange like it was a boxing match. Monica versus Parker. Beets versus Schnabel. The whispers grow into roars. This is no longer rivalry. This is war. And while Parker fumes, storming back to his pit, Monica's crew returns to their work in silence. The secret's still safe. The jackpot still buried, waiting for the right moment. That moment comes on a night when the floodlights blaze across her cut, and her excavator bucket hits something solid. Not gravel, not ice. Something harder. Sparks fly as the steel teeth scrape across rock. The sound echoes like steel on steel, and the entire crew freezes. They dig again. The wall breaks open, and what lies inside doesn't just shine, it glows. Thick veins of gold twist through the stone like frozen lightning bolts. Nuggets tumble out of broken rock, bouncing across plates like coins on steel. Pans fill with gravel, and within seconds they gleam so heavy with gold it looks impossible. Assy kids spit out numbers that seem like errors $1,200 per cubic yard, 10 times higher than anything Dawson has seen in years. For a moment, the crew is stunned into silence. Then noise erupts, shouts, laughter, helmets thrown in the air, radios crackling with disbelief. Some fall to their knees, others embrace through tears. Years of cold winters, grueling shifts, failures, and heartbreak, all redeemed in one golden wall. But through the chaos, Monica stands still. Her face is lit by the glare of floodlights, her eyes steady on the glowing rock. When she finally speaks, her words cut through the excitement with command. Not a word leaves this camp, not until every ounce is out. Don't celebrate yet. We've got to get it before Parker smells it. The order snaps everyone back to. Before Parker smells it. The order snaps everyone back to. Discipline. Trucks line up. Buckets dive. Gravel moves with the rhythm of soldiers in battle. The vein is open, but it will only be theirs if they can haul it without the world knowing. Parker learns the truth the hardest way. His asses return first. The numbers are merciless. His so-called jackpot is shallow, weak, not worth the fuel it takes to dig. His empire of bravado begins to crack. Investors call with sharp voices. Crew members whisper behind his back. They've seen Monica's trucks moving nonstop. They've heard the rumors of her booming site. Then comes the final blow. Drone footage leaks. Grainy, shaky, but undeniable. Monica's camp under full floodlight. Machines roaring. Gravel pouring into washed plants like rivers. And gold. Too much gold to hide. Mass shimmer thick with treasure. It looks staged, but it isn't. The footage explodes online. Dawson City buzzes. Investors turn their eyes. Parker's humiliation spreads beyond the Yukon to the entire mining world. For the first time in his career, Parker Schnabel has no answer. He stands in his hollow pit, papers crushed in his fists, engines echoing failure around him. His crew avoids his gaze. His investors stop taking his calls. Across the Yukon, only one truth matters. Monica has struck the richest vein in modern Klondike history. The numbers rise fast: 10 million, 20, 30. By the time the last truck dumps its load, Monica's camp has processed an estimated $45 million in gold. It's more than a fortune. It's a statement. Dawson wakes the next morning to pandemonium. Bars fill with shouting patrons. Newspapers hit the stands with her name on the front page. Miners from rival camps line up at her boundary, hats in hand, begging to lease ground near her jackpot. The Yukon's balance of power tilts overnight. Monica Beets, once dismissed as simply Tony Beets' daughter, now stands at the center of the richest discovery in years. She is no longer just another miner. She is the queen of gold. The Yukon does not forgive weakness, and Parker feels it closing in from every side. His crew is exhausted. Weeks of pushing beyond limits for shallow pay have left men hollow-eyed and muttering behind his back. Some openly question his decisions, their voices carrying through the frosty air when they think he isn't listening. They talk about Monica's pit, about the trucks that never stop moving through the night, about the shimmer of gold pouring from her sluice like a flood that cannot be stopped. Each rumor stings worse than the last. Each whisper spreads like cracks in ice, widening until even Parker cannot ignore them. The investors are worse. Calls flood in, their tone sharp and impatient. They don't care about excuses. They want results, numbers, assurance that their money is not vanishing into diesel fumes and wasted gravel. Parker's answers sound weak even to himself. He tries to stand tall, to wear the face of confidence for the cameras and for his crew. But every word feels heavy, false, and desperate. In his gut, he knows the truth. Monica has beaten him. And still, Monica does not celebrate. She doesn't shout her triumph from the ridges or taunt Parker with his failure. She stays quiet, working as if nothing extraordinary has happened. Every ounce of gold is hauled, washed, and locked away with discipline. Every contract is signed quickly. Lawyers rushing under floodlights to secure new claims before anyone else can act. Investors begin drifting toward her like moths to flame, slipping away from Parker's sinking ship. They see the writing on the wall. Parker's empire, once built on endless bravado, is crumbling. Monica's, built on silence and strategy, is only beginning to rise. For Dawson, the spectacle is irresistible. Bars roar with patrons retelling the story as if they had witnessed it themselves. Newspapers splash her name across front pages. Local radio repeats the tale with awe. Social media turns Parker's humiliation into memes, while Monica's discovery becomes the headline that no one can escape. In a single strike, she has changed not only her career, but the very balance of Yukon mining. Even Tony Beets, the self-proclaimed king of the Klondike, is forced into a rare pause. Cameras catch him outside his own camp, cigar smoke curling around him, pride glowing through the lines on his weathered face. He grins and mutters a line destined to echo through mining history. She's outplayed the lot of us. That girl's no apprentice anymore. The old guard recognizes the shift. Rival miners, who once fought tooth and nail for scraps, now line up at Monica's boundaries. They bring hats in their hands, voices low with respect, asking to lease ground near her jackpot. The Yukon has crowned a new ruler, and no one dares to deny it. Monica stands at the center of this storm, not as Tony's daughter, not as a contender, but as the undisputed queen of gold. But Monica's vision does not stop at celebration. She knows fortune is fleeting if not guarded well. Within days, she begins expanding her reach. Parcels of land are acquired, one after another, her map spreading wider than Parker's ever did. Whispers rise that her deals stretch beyond Dawson, perhaps even into Alaska. Investors watch closely. Rivals panic quietly. Tony himself, once the measure of dominance, admits in private that Monica is building something greater than even his legendary reign. For Parker, the weight of failure grows unbearable. He tries to rally, to claw back pride, but the ground beneath him refuses to cooperate. His cuts run shallow. His wash plants run empty. Each day feels heavier than the last. The cameras that once celebrated his victories now capture his silence, his frustration, his empire cracking in real time. One evening, under the harsh glow of floodlights, Parker finally admits what no one thought they would hear. His voice is low, his pride stripped away. She outplayed me. She beat me fair. The words spread faster than any rumor. They cement the truth not just in Dawson, but across the world. Parker Schnabel, the golden boy of the Klondike, has conceded defeat to Monica Beets. But Monica is not done. Her empire is not built on a single vein, no matter how rich. She moves with purpose, carving out a dynasty piece by piece. Lawyers file claims at dawn. Contracts are sealed before dusk. Investors pour money into her hands, eager to ride the wave of her success. Equipment arrives by convoy. Camps expand. What began as a silent strike under cover of night becomes the foundation of something far larger than anyone expected. Around Yukon campfires, miners begin telling her story in hushed awe. They speak of how she tricked Parker with silence, how she moved trucks unseen, how her bucket teeth tore open the richest vein anyone alive had ever seen. Apprentices repeat it like scripture. Children grow up hearing it as legend. The tale grows larger than the gold itself, larger than the Yukon, larger than the season. It becomes history, and at the heart of that history stands Monica Beets, no longer underestimated, no longer overshadowed. She is not just a miner. She is a strategist, a tactician, a conqueror who outplayed the unbeatable Parker Schnabel and claimed the richest vein in Yukon. Memory, her name, once tied only to her father, is now etched among the greats. She is the queen of gold, and the empire she has begun is only the beginning. The days that follow Monica's discovery are unlike anything the Yukon has seen in years. Her camp becomes a fortress of discipline. Guards are posted at the perimeter, not armed with weapons, but with silence. No one is allowed to speak about the Jackpot outside the boundary line. Phones are restricted. Crew members whisper in low tones, their excitement pressed beneath the weight of her orders. They know what is at stake. This is not just about gold. It is about power, about building something that could shift the balance of mining for a generation. Every load of pay dirt that moves from the pit to the wash plant is treated like treasure being carried from a vault. Convoys of trucks roll with military precision, headlights cutting narrow paths through the frosty night. Inside the wash plant, gold pours across mats so thick it looks unreal, as if the Yukon itself has cracked open to release its heart. The crew is exhausted, their bodies aching from endless shifts, but no one complains. Each flake, each nugget that clatters against steel, pushes them forward with adrenaline that no sleep could match. Word, however, cannot be contained forever. Dawson is a small town, and whispers move faster than engines. Bartenders hear stories from drivers too tired to guard their tongues. Supply shop owners notice Monica's crews buying gear in bulk, always in a hurry, always avoiding questions. Even the quietest secret grows loud when it is wrapped in millions of dollars. Soon, Dawson buzzes like a beehive. Monica Beets has struck something bigger than anyone imagined. Parker tries to fight the rumors. He claims they are false, distractions designed to weaken him. He calls Monica's discovery a myth, a fairy tale told by jealous miners. But the Yukon does not listen. Too many eyes have seen the convoys. Too many ears have heard the roar of her machines working through the night. And then the leaked footage spreads again, grainy, shaky, but undeniable. A river of gold flowing across her sluice mats. Nuggets piled so thick they look like treasure from a legend. The footage strikes Parker like a hammer blow. His investors begin pulling out quietly, some refusing to return his calls. Others openly transferring their backing to Monica. His crew, tired and bitter, grows restless. A few leave outright, walking away from his pit and toward Monica's camp, eager to work for the side that is winning. Each loss cuts deeper than the last. Parker, once the unstoppable force, finds himself standing in the middle of empty machines. Gene's quiet, his camp, middle of empty machines. Gene's quiet, his camp hollow with silence. Meanwhile, Monica grows stronger. Her lawyers secure additional claims. Her maps spread wider with each passing week. Surveyors arrive with new data, confirming what the old journal once hinted: the golden spine may stretch further than anyone ever believed. If true, Monica is not sitting on a single jackpot. She may be controlling the richest geological formation in the Yukon. Her crew knows they are part of something greater than themselves. They work with a mix of exhaustion and pride, their names bound forever to the legend forming around them. Some nights, after shifts so long their bodies tremble, they sit by the fires at the edge of camp and whisper about the future. They talk about how this discovery will be told for generations, how they will one day tell their children they were there when Monica Beets changed mining history. Even the competition cannot escape the pull of her success. Rivals who once laughed at her inexperience now lower their voices when her name is spoken. They offer partnerships, desperate to share even a fraction of the fortune flowing from her ground. Some attempt sabotage, sending scouts to spy on her cuts, but Monica has anticipated it all. Decoys are laid. Worthless ground is flagged as promising. Every trap she sets lures Parker's supporters into wasting time and money, while she quietly grows stronger. The Yukon has always loved stories of power, and Monica's becomes the greatest of them all. Miners in town retell it with pride, as if her victory belongs to them too. They speak of the night she tricked Parker, of the silence she kept, of the exact moment her excavator bucket hit the golden wall. With each retelling, the legend grows larger, richer, almost mythical. And at the center of it stands Monica, steady, silent, and focused. She does not revel in Parker's downfall, though the world around her feasts on it. She does not lose herself in celebration, though she has more reason than any miner in Dawson's history. She continues forward, her eyes on something greater than one strike, greater than one season. Her empire is only beginning, and she knows it. For Parker, the spiral feels endless. Each morning, he wakes to fresh disappointment. Each night, he stares at empty sluice mats that mock him with their silence. His temper, once sharp enough to drive his crew, now alienates them. He shouts orders that no one believes will change anything. His once mighty camp echoes with failure, a shadow of the empire it was. And in the quiet of his own thoughts, Parker knows what everyone else already does. He has been outplayed. The cameras capture it all. Discovery's crews, once eager to highlight his victories, now turn their lenses toward his collapse. Viewers watch as Parker, the golden boy who seemed unbeatable, falters under the weight of his own arrogance. And in contrast, they see Monica rise, her calm precision making every frame feel like history in the making. By the end of the season, the numbers tell the story in a language no one can deny. Parker's totals fall short, barely enough to cover the fuel he burned. Monica's, on the other hand, rise into figures no miner has touched in recent memory. $45 million in gold, a jackpot that outshines entire empires, a victory that cannot be questioned. The Yukon crowns its queen, and her name is Monica Beets. Winter creeps into the Yukon like a predator. Frost crawls across machines. Water thickens into ice. Even the toughest crews feel the sting of the season biting into their bones. For most miners, winter marks the end engine shutdown, camps pack up, and dreams are postponed until spring. But Monica's camp refuses to go dark. Her empire has only just begun, and she will not let the cold steal momentum. Convoys of equipment roll in through blizzards, headlights glowing like fireflies in the snow. Welders spark through frozen nights, repairing, expanding, preparing for the next assault on the earth. Heated tents rise where frost would normally drive miners indoors. Monica invests in winter-proof systems, innovations no other Yukon crew has dared to attempt at this scale. While the rest of Dawson hibernates, Monica builds. News spreads fast. Investors in Vancouver and Toronto whisper of her audacity. Industry leaders in Alaska and even Russia send representatives to watch from the sidelines. Everyone wants to know if she can truly keep machines running through the Yukon's deadliest season. The doubters call it madness. The believers call it genius. And Monica simply calls it work. Meanwhile, Parker retreats into silence. His camp, once roaring with engines, now sits like a graveyard of frozen steel. Machines lie buried under snowdrifts, forgotten relics of a season gone wrong. Parker himself disappears from town life. The bars that once echoed with his name now only whisper in tones of pity. A few loyal crew members stick by him, but their faces show the strain of following a leader who has lost not just ground, but purpose. Tony Beets watches from a distance, his pride tempered with something new: respect. He knows better than anyone the price of building an empire in the Klondike. And now, for the first time, he sees his daughter stepping into a role even greater than he ever dreamed. She's rewriting the game, he mutters to anyone who asks. And though his words are gruff, his eyes betray a rare glimmer of pride. Monica's next move shocks even her closest allies. Instead of resting on her golden mountain, she strikes outward. Maps of Alaska spread across her tables. Helicopters ferry her to remote claims where untouched ground waits like secrets buried in snow. Surveyors march through icy ridges